Hi everyone, welcome to the WebX online course on Frontend Web Development. So today in this video, we will show you the HTML basics. So before we get started, if you have not registered with WebX yet, kindly scan the QR code or go to the link below to register with us as a record. And in this video, we're going to show you four things. The first thing is what is HTML and the structure of HTML, the tags of HTML, and also a little bit of demo on HTML. So what is HTML? HTML stands for Hypertext Markup Language. A markup language is different from a programming language. Markup language is a set of rules for encoding documents, while programming language is used to write computer programs. So if you remember in the first part of the video, we discussed about the HTML, CSS, and JavaScript, the three best friends. And HTML takes care of the structure of the website, web page. If you remember, this is the web page of WebX, and the machines determine the structure of the web page through HTML code. As you can see on your right hand side, this is the example of HTML code. And if you can see the text in blue color, this is what we call a HTML text. A text is enclosed in an angle bracket. And you can see there are a few different kind of texts. So these are the common HTML tags that we will use in this course. Actually, there are a lot more HTML tags that you can check online, but these are the most common ones. So the first one is HTML tags, the HTML document, div tag, division tag, h1 to h6 is the subtitle tag, A is the anchor tag, image tag, we have an input tag, section tag, strong is a bold tag, EM is emphasis, so it can show italic, navigation tag, form tag, line break tag, and also title tag. So without further ado, let's jump to a bit of demo. So now you should have installed the Visual Studio Code along with the extension Live Server. So now you can go to File, select New File, and you can save this file as HTML first. Let's save this file as demo.html. You can save it anywhere on your PC. Save. Now you can see the file type is HTML. So to get started with HTML, you can type in the exclamation tag and hit enter, and you can see you have this. If the exclamation mark does not work, we will need to manually type in. So the first line, .type HTML, is we tell the machine that this is a HTML document, and the second tag is a HTML tag. Let's do this. HTML tag with the language of English. As you can see, this tag is closed by the HTML tag. This tag is not closed. So the third tag is the head tag. Head tag consists of the metadata of the website. So meta child set is UTF-8. This UTF-8 is the Unicode standard. So for now, you will just follow. And we have name equals to viewport. Viewport is actually defines the user visible area of the web page. So as for now, we will just follow this one. Right? We'll jump to title. The title, we can change this to demo, for example. So now I want to view the web page. So let's go to the place where I save the demo.html, which I save it in my desktop. So just double click on this demo.html file and you will link to your browser. It's an empty web page with a title here of demo. So now we want to input something into the HTML tag. Let's start with a div tag. A div tag is a division tag. So inside division, we can place something. If you see the div tag itself, first you need to save it, Ctrl S, or save it, and you can see nothing happens. Okay, nothing happens. And so we will go to, let's try to input a h1 to h6 tag. Remember, h1, let's see what is the difference. This is a h1 tag. h1 tag. And we will do the same thing for h1 to h6. h2, this is a h2 tag. We have h3, make it a h3 tag, and h4, this is a h4 tag, h5 tag, and also a h6 tag. Okay, now save it again. Make sure you save it. Go to your web browser and reload the page. And you can see h1 tag is the biggest one, and h2, h3 is going smaller. This is for your subtitle. Means that you can have a bigger title. This is the first subtitle, the second subtitle. Alright? So after this, we can try out some p tag. P tag stands for paragraph text. For example, this is a very important paragraph. So we want to emphasize paragraph. If we want to make this italic, we can add the emphasis tag and move the paragraph into the emphasis and save it again. Once again we go to the web browser and you can see the paragraph is now in italic. So if we want to bold this very important, we go back to the code editor and we can use strong tag, and let's move this important into the strong tag, save it, go back to the web browser, reload, and you can see now important is bold and paragraph is italic. Right, next let's try to input image. So for image tag, you need to have attribute of src, stands for source, and close it. What is the source? Is the source of your image. For example, since I have saved this on my desktop, let's try something. I have a logo.png file on my desktop in the same folder, save it, and now we should be able to see the image. And if the image cannot be displayed, we need some fallback options. So we can add ALT, stands for alternative. So this is, we give a description of the image. This is a logo of WebX. So in case that the logo is not displayed, people can see this. They will know that this is the image of the logo of WebX. So since the image is displayed, we cannot see. What if we delete the image, save, reload, and you can see now we have the alternative. Right, next let's try an anchor tag. So anchor tag, it has the attribute of href. Href is the reference. For example, in our web page we want to link to Google, then we will get the link to Google, and let's give it a text of go to Google and save it. Once again we reload, and you can see now this is go to Google, and when you press on this link, it will link to Google. Now let's go back. Sometimes we don't want when people click a link in our web page and our web page is disappear, right? So we can add one more where the target, one more attribute, the target is equals to underscore blank. Save it. Now go back. When you press Google, oops, I think it's not reload. Right? Yes, now it is in the other web page, in another tab. So now you have your website, your web page, and now when people click on a link in your web page, it will link to another tab. So your web page is still there. Right? And now, since I don't want the go to Google is in the same line with this logo of WebX, I want it to be in the other line, we can use the line break tag. So the line break is BR. As you can see, some tags does not has a closing. This P tag has a close tag, but image tag, BR tag, it doesn't have a close tag, right? So save this again, go back, reload, and you can see now the go to Google is in the next line. Let's put back the logo. So in HTML, we also have the input tag. Let's try the input tag. Input. So this input tag takes a attribute of type. So type, we can input try text placeholder Placeholder is what you want people to type in. For example, name. Right? Save it. Go back, reload, and you can see now you have an input. You can input your name. Right? Also, we have input type of radio buttons. The type, just give it radio, and now we'll give it a ID. For example, we want to determine a gender of a person, so give ID equals to, for example, male, and name is the gender, value is male. And now we will close this tag, and if you see this one, reload, it doesn't have a label. What is this? Should be a male, so we need to give it a label. We use the label tag. So this is label. We need to label for what? For the ID of male. So label for male, and the text is male. Save and reload. Now you can see it has a label of male. So we can do the same thing to female and also others. Let's put a line break here so that it looks cleaner. Now we also have checkboxes. For checkboxes, it is the same thing. We use the input and we have the type equals to checkbox. So now checkbox, you can give an ID. For example, ID. Do you have a cat? Let's give it a cat. This is about the pets, and the name is also pets. Sorry, let's give a name of cat, and also we need a value. Let's give a value of cat also, and same goes to the same thing. We need to label it, so let's copy the label, but this time we will be labeling for the cat. And we'll change this smell into cat. Save it, go to the browser, reload it, and you can see now this is okay. So the difference between a radio button is you can only select one, while checkboxes you can select a few. Let's try this one. Copy this. For example, gender, I will change this to a female. So this one should be male, the second one should be female, ID of female, this one changed to female, and this will be female. So this one maybe rather not to say. Okay. Not to say, for example, NTS, not to say. So we will label for not to say and save it. And now you can see if we reload, we have the radio buttons. You can only select one. Okay, and let's do the same thing for the pads. Let's give it a line break. Maybe we should space down. Second one, let's make it top. And the third one, let's make it others. Save it and reload. Now you can see we have cat, dog, and others. So if you notice, radio buttons you can only select one, but the checkbox you can select multiples. So that's the end of this HTML basics, and we will see you in the CSS basics in the next lesson. Thank you for watching.